Good morning, everybody. How are you guys all doing? What's up, YouTube land? How you doing, Mountain Critters? With the tag of being first. Bryson Alden in second. Good morning. Dan Boyles, how's it going? Greg Malone, peace, my bruh. That sounded weird. Wesley McRavy, how's it going? Will you be back soon? Grabbing some firewood. I'll catch you in a minute. Mr. Donut, how you doing, James? Chewy, how you doing? Shamrock, what's up, Sulbert? Dr. Asen in the house. James Jones, what's up? Ben Toombs, oh no. Mr. Bobby at Dog Bones, we got Hammer Time. Mr. Mark Boar, how's it going? Chat just jumped. Mike, good morning, Mike. Clara Bison, or Bison. Bison. Yes, good morning. What's up? Augie Zenner, Rob Huff, Techgron Medic, how you doing? I'm living as best as I can. I am living. I've got another guest coming into the shop today. I've got I've got a handful of horseshoe arts to make, and yes, Ben, we need a HR meeting, and you're going to be the topic. Avon Dennis. Yeah, a lot of stuff going on in the shop. What's up, Super Poop? Hey, Aimless. I'm just rolling, having fun, and this, that, and the other thing. I'm in a locals. It's the OBX Holiday Bazaar group, and it's it's like you pay a due to become a vendor, and you can put your advertisements there, and then people that join the group can see it and buy through the items. And as an incentive to buy, the owner of the group is setting up all sorts of raffles and giveaways and scavenger hunts and this and that and other awesome things. It's a lot of fun. I might be doing a live stream for them Monday or Tuesday on their page. With that, it's just a lot of fun. Christmas stuff. Hey, Mr. Crawdaddy. But all that's well and good. Hey, Robert, how you doing? I do have a special guest today on the stream. Special in several senses. We are kind of celebrating. I'm glad I'm awake for this week's gathering. Yes. We are celebrating a milestone for my doppelganger. He is coughing in my ear. It feels like somebody just licked my ear. Morning, Dana. I forgot to email you. I'll try and get with you after. Hubcaps, how's it going? But we are celebrating a milestone today for one Mr. Speargrass Forge, Adam Flewell with 2 L's, Smith, and everybody give a big whopping round of applause for the 500 subscriber milestone of this man right here. He's a goofball, but we love him.
Yes.
Say hello, Adam.
Hello, everyone. How are you all today? Hello, Chewy, Dana, Clara, everyone down there. Small Boar, Eric, Rusty, Hubcap.
Yeah. This guy actually does videos. I'm having trouble getting the time to record videos.
Well, I was considering doing a live stream today because I don't know if anyone remembers. I have the nameless nephew, the name of this nephew actually came out to today. He's back in the Northern Territory for a bit of holiday, seeing his family, and managed to kidnap him for a day, and he come out for a day of forging. But we were just doing some production forging and getting ready to make a Christmas present for his parents. So we decided not to do any streaming, but he's of an age where he can now be on YouTube. So he might make an appearance in the coming weeks to say hello. We'll see how that goes. I'll have to have a chat to his parents, and you can all get to meet him too. But he's currently asleep on my couch. But he's exhausted from today. So yeah.
Right, right. Yeah. If you had him out working in the shop already, I'm sure he was exhausted.
Oh yeah, I had him actually. I actually had him making the penny hooks
Morning, Wiley.
that I did a video on the other day because yeah, making a hook, a key rack for his parents uh, for Christmas. So I had him making those and working on his because he's shown a keen interest in doing some blacksmithing. So yeah, had him doing some of that, and he's exhausted.
Oh, I'm sure.
Mm. Yep, we need to work on his forge fitness. So yeah, so thank you for helping me celebrate my 500 subscribers. Actually, this screenshot behind me was just taken just before I started the stream, and it's 502 as of right now. I gained 2 subscribers today,
Nice.
extra subscribers. Yeah, so yeah, I'm happy about that. It means I've got to do another giveaway, which I was also working on in the forge today. I was working on the prize so that I have it ready to go for when I do the video on it. But of course, videos for me have been a little bit sporadic lately, much like you Yummers, because everything's been so busy with the house build and stuff like that. But I have a little bit of an update on that.
Mm-hmm.
If happy for that, yeah. So the house proper is built. We're now in this basically the stage of it's at lockup now. So they've just put on all the ceilings, the cupboards and everything on the inside of the house are being done now. We've got basically now it comes next to the painters and the tilers, and the rest of the fit out comes through. So the rest of the cabinetry gets done, and the bathrooms, and then fit out the electricals and all that type of stuff. Then the part B of the concreting, so the veranda and the carport, and then pretty much it's done. In process of that for my new workshop, I've got I managed to secure a bargain on a shipping container to be my temporary workshop, to set that up so that when we move out there I can set up my forge and everything like that in a temporary workshop until I get everything together for the new actual workshop. And I have possibly tentatively secured a 15 meter by 15 meter workshop that is being decommissioned by a local school, possibly maybe here. I'm in the process of trying to actually secure that for me. So that 15 by 15 is 3 foot to the meter. So that's 5, 15, 30, about 45 foot by 45 foot workshop is what I'm hoping to secure for a really good price. And that will be built on the that will be my new workshop that I'll be building.
Yeah.
So it's going to be huge.
Right on. Yeah. I'm still trying to get my. I've personally, kind of changing tactics on my shop, and instead of relying on some of these built workbenches that exist in my shop that are, they're too narrow, for most of my stuff. Most of my tools overhang off of them, and they're also a bit too tall for me. So instead of having to build a deck to build it up, I'm just going to remove them. I've built a rolling cart. So I'm going to do all my stuff, all my workbenches on rolling carts until I can get the center of my shop cleared out. And then I should have a shop as big as yours. Let me say hey
My
to Mr.
current one or my
Pekka.
new one?
Welcome back, Wesley. Yeah, Charles May, good morning. Yeah, don't forget smoosh that like button and
And like that push
and
button.
like that smoosh button and share. Dwayne Abishai, good morning. Yeah, I'm trying to. Y'all saw me like leaning towards the camera. I'm just trying to. I've got a white balance issue, and I seem faded, and oh, so hey, Curtis Lee. Um, as you take over Ben's old
So
shot.
just answering Matt from Aimless Adventures. Have I built his room yet? Yes, it's at the bottom of the long drop.
Mine's in a shipping container. No, dog bones. I didn't take over Ben's shop. Jazz Walker, good morning. But yeah, yeah. So there it goes. I was just talking to him or to Speargrass this morning, just before the show, about how the freaking scene transitions on itself and shrinks the person talking. You know.
Yeah, I got smaller all of a sudden.
Yeah, I got you. Producer. um, no,
So
go ahead.
no, you go ahead.
I was just gonna, message on or comment on my camera issues. On my little reader screen, it seems all right, and it's like once it goes through everything, it's not. It's, I have different settings between in the shop and over here. So, like the white balance and the color temperature and all that stuff needs to be changed, and I often forget.
I'm actually Ben. I'm getting a small garden shed that you'll be able to live in if you ever come over, mate.
Right? That's all he needs, Maybe,
Yep.
In the garden shed, make him feel comfortable, get like a chest of drawers, you know.
Yeah, those little bedside ones. That'll be tall enough for him.
Yep.
Love you, Ben. But yeah, no. So yeah, it's all going ahead in leaps and bounds. And of course, I'd like to thank everyone here that is. I know there's quite a few people in the chat here that are subscribed to me. I'm having trouble with English. So yeah, I know there's quite a few people in the chat that have subscribed to me. And Sully, I did say your comment about you're going to have to go and subscribe to me now. I'm surprised you weren't. I'm sure you're already subscribed. But
Hey, Bloobs.
I'd like to thank you all for joining me so far. This has been I am bigger than I ever thought I would ever be. I didn't, I never got onto this to be a YouTuber. I was really, the whole point of this was just to track my journey for me, and then some of you people happen to actually like it. And
right.
It's still a spin out to me. I'm halfway to 1,000, and I've been doing this on YouTube for, I think I'm going into my 3rd year on YouTube. I've been doing blacksmithing for a while, but jump to actually on YouTube has been going into my 3rd year now. It's kind of like I'm up to 500 subscribers, which means it's like, I know, and most of that, I remember, I think it was about this time last year I hit my first 100, and it was like, so I've gained 400 subscribers a year. It's just blown up for me, it's always, subscribe. It's a surprising one, how wonderful this community is, how supportive, and how much you guys actually like the stuff that I do. It's
right.
I wake up like, well, why do you guys like my stuff? I'm just, there's much better people than me that call themselves hacksmiths, Hans, and but they're wonderful Smith, and most of the people here are, and even yourself, Gum, you put out some awesome content, and you do some awesome work, and I'm kind of like, don't feel that I am. I should be put in the same category as most of you guys, but yeah, no, it's definitely a privilege to have you guys coming along with me on the ride that I'm on.
Yeah. Well, good morning, Curtis. Um, when are you coming to the States? That's the question. But yeah, no, you know what, we all progress at our own rate. You know, as I've said, you know, and you know, you seem, you know, watching your channel, you seem to be in the same mindset as I am. You know, tackling the YouTube issues. Morning, Wayne. Morning, Robert. Um, and that's, you know, you know, I started YouTube to share, or I started, you know, posting some of my videos on YouTube to share with my family back in Chicago. You know, like, here's what I'm doing, isn't this cool? Hey guys, I love this stuff, awesome, blah blah blah. And they, you know, I did the live streams on YouTube so that, or on Facebook originally, so that they could watch. Well, they didn't really care, you know. So it's like, and I actually was gaining, you know, other people getting interest, you know, much like you, Adam, you know, and it's like, all right, and you know, I looked at all the other channels out there, and it's like almost every channel is, you know, instructional videos, and it's like, well, I'm brand new at this, I can't do instructional videos, so I just, you know, did videos a lot like, again, a lot like you did. That's why I call you my doppelganger. Um, of I mean, aside from the fact that, you know, he's just a much less attractive version of me.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, Island Forge. Um, and you know, I just, you know, when I do a video, it's here's a project I worked on, you know, and I try and film it so that you guys can see how I do it, you know. But I gear my channel much more towards, you know, here's some neat stuff that blacksmiths are doing, you know,
Mm.
rather than like, hey, here's how you do it. If you want to know how to do it, I can, you know, line you up with Roy or Black Bear Forge, or, you know, Joey Vandersteeg, or, you know, all these others who do, you know, how-to videos. Um,
Yeah, yeah. And my angle, well, wasn't so much an angle, but like the way in my mindset is that, you know, there's a lot of wonderful Smiths like Roy and like John and, you know, Mr. Coffee and lots of
Morning,
fantastic
Bill.
blacksmiths that do how-to videos, like you said. And mine was more like what I didn't see when I jumped on, and I've found it since, of course, with you guys. But there were two things I didn't see first started doing my YouTube videos was a beginner from scratch with nothing, which is what I was. And you know, and if you didn't have access to anything, like, you know, as everyone knows here, I built my own anvil because I cannot get an anvil. So you know, what do you do when you can't do it? And that's, I mean, you know, projects like that, that it was kind of like, okay, so how do you start when you kind of look at this and go, I really want to get into it, but I've got no idea. And you've done videos since then on how to start when you've got
Yeah,
nothing,
Clara
and
just mentioned
a
them
few
too.
other people, yeah, and a few other people have done it. Um, but like, you know, they weren't. I didn't really see. I couldn't find anything like that when I first started, and it was kind of like, well, okay, I'll struggle out, and you know, it wasn't even. It was for me to see my journey along the way, and I thought, well, if anyone gets some value out of it, that's great. And it seems a lot of people really have,
Yeah,
you know, and different people get different things out of different people. I mean, we all know that we don't all learn the same way, and you know, there's I mean, I started watching you because you kind, and it was exactly what you just said. You have the same mindset as me, and then I got kind of sucked into your world.
my world is a great one to be sucked into. Thank you. Um, Wesley McCravey just moved into a new building, and you know, he says he's feeling ashamed moving from a 30 by 40 to a 3,000 square foot. Morning, Bill Corey. Right, Wesley? You kind of feel like, oh, I got all this space. Now what do I do? Um, Eric, Yama, is your family?
If you're anything like the rest,
I was,
I was
uh,
going to say, if he's anything like the rest of us, you'll fill it with junk.
right. Um, Eric, you know, your family sounds like mine. Can't even get more. You know, yeah. You'd think that the people that care about you the most would take a bit more interest in, you know, what you do. But you know, just like when I did fish tanking. You know, I had tens of thousands of dollars invested in fish tanks. You know, years and years ago. You know, I ran like 7 tanks, 4 breeder tanks. You know, 7 show tanks, 4 breeder tanks. You know, I had like 6 quarantine tanks. My whole basement was full of fish tanks, and like nobody cared. Nobody cared, you know. Um, Clara Bison, thank you for sending people to my first fire series. That's what it's for, and that goes into as I started developing a following, it's like what, the information that I do have, and the, I don't want to say arguments, but the conversations that I do see on the Facebook groups, it's like, what, I can make a video explaining that better than I can type it out explaining it, So that's when I do a educational video. It's like, it's not like a here's how you need to do it. It's here's how you can do it. Um,
Yeah.
Ethan Phillips, good
And that's
morning. Give me one sec to catch up in the chat. Um, uh, yes, Rob, we do have another Island Forge, and he's popped in here and there, and he is awesome. Back to what you were going to say down there.
I'd say that's the same reason why I did that series on the book reviews, Blacksmith book reviews, because I hadn't I hadn't really seen anyone done any of that type of thing done from a beginner's perspective. It was like, okay, you always see on the Facebook groups and stuff like that, what books should I get and stuff like that, and what's good, and it was like, well, there's nothing. Like I couldn't find any information on what would, there's a lot of people saying, oh, this book's good and this book's good and this book's good, but what's it like for a beginner to have all this information, and how do they process it? And because I classify myself as beginner, it was like, well, I'll read these books, and they were interesting. Some of them were a little bit of a drag to read because they're as dry, as technical as anything. And that's practical blacksmithing, the Bible, but but they're full of information. How did they stack up on usefulness for a beginner? And that's why I did that, because like much like you said, it was like, well, here's some information for people that don't know where to look.
Yeah. Yeah, I just got to take a second and say, hey, Sam, how you doing, brother?
Hey, Sam.
Good to see ya. I didn't know you'd be up this early.
He's up rather late this evening. And I saw Tex on here as well, so we've got good representation from down under.
Yeah. Just jumping in for a minute, it's almost midnight. Oh, yeah, Big Fudge has got to get his beauty sleep,
He's prettier than me.
Yeah, freaking got to get his beauty sleep, because, it's like, he outshines all of us in the facial area. We all look like we've been smashed with a hammer. And Sam pops up and he's like a cherub. Brian is coming up to Goshen in January. If you have an opportunity to come, I saw your post, Rob. If you guys all give me a moment to gush on this for a second. If I had the time and money, I totally would. But January, I'm coming right off of end of year break, and I am super busy coming in January for my day job, so it's very likely not going to be able to happen. But Brian Brazil is doing a class series in Goshen, Ohio next month, and if you get a chance to jump on it, take a chance. He's a good guy. Eric brings up a point that I always like to discuss. When I first tried to start blacksmithing, the internet didn't exist and never thought of the books. I see a lot of people, and much less lately, because I see it more in a certain forum that I don't participate in, and this is one of the reasons. A lot of older blacksmiths, not a lot, certain older blacksmiths will go, oh, it's too easy for you youngins to get into this crap. You know, it's like when I was your age and I didn't have the internet. You know, I couldn't do, you know, blah, 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 blah. I had to learn everything. I had to go to, it's like, you know what though? It's a new technological era. Be happy that the craft is as widespread and as easy, as widely available to more people. So with technology booms, you have, you know, that, and to push against it. The internet is a tool. It is great to use if you know how to use it. All right. And Roy pops in, just popping in to say hello. I've got to get a hold of you at some point today, Roy, if you charge your phone, and I'll get back to you. Just trying to...
Happy Yule to Roy and Jess too.
Yes. In fact, I have been smashed in the face with a hammer. Of course you have, Sam. Let me try and catch up in the chat. Sam and Roy. Yeah, I had Big Dog in the chat last night. Good morning, Michael at Black Collar. So I'm wondering if the blacksmithing family is going to be able to have a gathering of some sort soon. I do know that a widespread, we have, hopefully next September, we've got Quad State, and if all goes well and, you know, certain things go away, we will have this guy down here come over here to America and do his rounds. All right, Sam, you have a great evening. A lot of chat here. I'm sorry to cut you off there, Asparagus, but Yamez, off topic, but what was the metal that you were saying you liked to make hammers from the other night when you made Santa's Little Helper? A Atlantic 33. Atlantic 33. The two types of metal that I use for my hammers are Atlantic 33 and 1045. I think I've only made one 4140 hammer. Yeah. Okay, you guys on the internet? Yep. You're going to so popular catching up. Yeah, exactly, Clara. It's already getting rough to catch up. I stopped to read one comment, and then, you know, I'm just trying to scroll down and not miss anybody. So if I do miss a comment, I apologize. If it's something that you really want me to read and say, go ahead and say it again. But I'm skipping to the bottom and saying good night to Techron, and yes. All right, back to you, Adam. What, I know you're itching to say something. You know, I see you over there twitching.
Yeah, I was about to say, people are asking when I'm going to come over. Like most people here might know, some of the long-termers, I was supposed to come over in September, fortunately because of the way the world was at that time, and even still is for Australia, where we still have closed borders till next year sometime. So I'm still, it's a reason why I ended up buying a house and buying land, is because everything was shut down. I wasn't going to be able to come over this year, so my partner and I, my fiance, decided to go, okay, let's buy a house, because we had the money there, and the land was ridiculously, the land that we got for an absolute bargain. So so we had the money there, we did that, and it was kind of like, well, I can always put the money away to come over again next year. So that's the plan at this stage, is touch wood, that the world opens back up at least somewhat by September next year, so that I can come over and spend about a month in the US, traveling through south up the east coast and across to Ohio, and then back down the middle, to do a lap of the east and central states, so to speak, so I can meet a few people, and if hopefully Quad State's on next year, so I can meet lots more people there. But yeah, so that was the plan this September, and we've just had to shunt it back to next September, so hopefully that goes ahead. That's what I've been doing. But of course, You know, I'd love to, for some of you guys, if you guys ever make it to Australia, to hit me up, and I'd love to have you host you at my workshop as well.
I'd love to be able to head, to Australia. I just don't know if I can. Um, I'd have to like stow aboard a container ship and just hope that it, brings me, to Australia.
We did, and we discussed that, and some of the people in the chat were actually there for that discussion. So not too long ago, Yummers and I had a discussion about hijacking a container ship, and basically a lot of blacksmiths were planning on basically well, it wasn't hijacking, it was peaceably commandeering a
Ain't nothing
container ship in
peaceable about it
international waters.
when I go full piracy. Ain't nothing peaceable about it. This smiling, kind face turns into a snarling yar.
Oh, thank you, Wesley. Thank you very much. Another person added to the list. But there's a lot of wonderful blacksmiths in this stream. If you're new, I haven't seen you around there much, Wesley. But particularly if you're new to the craft or if you're new to the community, there's a lot of blacksmiths in the stream that are wonderful, wonderful craftsmen and great people and wealths of knowledge.
And then there's Ben.
And Ben is an awesome dude himself.
Yes. That's a good idea, Daniel. Let's like as a community rent a 747 and then just head over. Wayne Heights. I just realized a lot of you guys probably haven't been subscribed to me for a full year. The past 3 years, I have done a drunken midnight live stream on New Year's Eve where I just grab my phone and go on for 10-15 minutes and jabber on drunkenly. I don't even know it. I watched them later to find out. I think one of them almost got me kicked off of Facebook or kicked off of YouTube. Adios, Clara.
I've seen you do a couple of
Drunk
moderately
streams.
intoxicated live streams. Depending on where you are in the company you're with. Normally it's the regular crew of Bob and Hans.
I got a special thing for you guys. Let's see how this works. Uh-oh. Let me try and do this. I think it worked. Hold on. Hello?
Hello, I've still got you.
Let's see. A special, I have got to figure this out. Might have to switch Windows capture.
I think forging in zero gravity, I think that it would be theoretically possible, in the sense of you have the mass, but you'd have to have something. Of course, the angle and everything would have to be anchored to the space station or whatnot. But you'd have to have some sort of way to anchor yourself in, because of course, if you're moving the hammer up, your whole body's going to want to go up, and then when you're bringing that force back down, and imparting it onto the hot steel, that's you're going to throw yourself up and down whilst doing that. So you want to be able to hook your feet in order to actually be able to forge. But I think that in my experience, Sully from Shamrock Forge would actually be the best one to answer that, because that man is a cluey, very, very intelligent man when it comes to science.
Huh. So, I have here in the chat, or in the call, Tim, but for some reason I can't hear him or see him.
I can't hear Tim either. I can see the name, but I can't hear him. Can you hear me, Tim?
And we have Hans Groff is my hero. Hello, everyone. Hmm. Let me try. Let me try.
Yes, it is reversed. It's not reversed to me, but for some reason it's reversed on the stream. But that's okay. That's just a glitch on my side, I'd say.
Then.
Hey, Paul. Hey, Paul. How are you? Hey, Hans. I was just speaking about you before, mate. I was singing your praises and then also saying that normally when Yames does a drunk stream, he's with you. You and Bob. That just means that you guys are good people.
Let me try this. If you guys give me one moment, I'm going to end the call and try recalling it so that I can get these two both in. He may have been added to the call, but it disconnected him. Let me try that. All right, guys?
Okay.
All right. So we have
Hello.
Speargrass joined, and maybe Tim.
Did I hear you there, Tim?
Maybe Tim will join. Weird. Odd, that.
I thought I heard Tim just a moment ago.
Yeah. And I thought I was ready for this. All right. Tim, if you can hear me, if you're listening to the chat or something, there's the Speargrass Forge Big Dog chat call that all you have to do is click join and you'll be on. Good morning, Steve. You can do it. I'm trying, guys. John Cat, good morning. Well, let me try this. Let me try and get Tim on the phone and then add you in.
Okay.
All right, guys, we'll be right back. All right. All right. Well, I guess he's, it says he's not online. Let's get, oh. Nope, wrong group. All right. That ought to do it. Hey, Jim Patterson. Hey, Alex. Hey, Michael. Bushcraft, how you doing? And I have not yet had a chance to work on the black magic stuff yet. Welcome back. Robert Whitney, how's it going? Granddads, good morning. Yeah, hey Troy. Um, it says that Big Dog's no longer online. I'll try and get a hold of him after the stream and find out what happened. But, yeah.
Would have loved to talk to Tim too. I've had very few opportunities to actually talk with Tim. He's one of my inspirations. He reminds me of the gentleman that started me on my blacksmithing journey. So he's big. I see Tim as big-hearted and very, very, very wonderful man. That's how I see him anyway. Hang on, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, cool. Just went silent there for a minute.
Yeah, sorry, I'm messaging Tim.
Okay.
Dude is open Skype and click join call on. All right. He might be having technical difficulties. Is this...
Yes, I have hair on the top of my head there, Troy. It's not just a bandana from here over. I do actually have hair on top.
Yeah, I will say this: when I have hair growing, you guys will rarely see me without my this on. My hair is just horrible right now. It would scare you guys for me to take off my headpiece. Yeah, his computer must have had an issue. But anywho diddly.
So I've got to say this for Bar Unforged because he normally does it. Now, a couple of weeks ago, I was actually on his live stream, and he forgot to say it. So, Aussie, 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 oi, oi, oi. There, you've actually heard me say it now, there, Troy.
Right. Well, I do have it set up so that if Tim does join the chat, he will be automatically added to the call and to the stream. So, yeah, if he hears this, all he has to do is click join. But anyway, again, we're here celebrating more of the Yamas. We're here celebrating, again, the 500 subscriber milestone for Asparagrass. He is putting together a video to do you said you were going to do a giveaway. You're giving away a power hammer?
I wish I had that sort of money. No, I will be doing the plan at the moment, and I'm in the process of forging them. Is, of course, like everyone, I hate forging tongs. Simply because it's a skill that's necessary, but it's just one of those things that just about every blacksmith I've ever spoken to hates forging tongs. So I'll be making tongs because I was reminded of actually at the start of this week. My father works about 300 kilometres away at a mine, and he's finally finishing up his contract after 15 years. So I was doing a few runs in and out of the city I live in, or the town I live in, to there and back, moving cars. And my father reminded me of a very important lesson he taught me as a teenager. Is if you don't like doing something, or either do it first or learn to love it, because that way it doesn't become a chore. So I've kind of taken up making a few more tongs in order to learn how to love it and get better at it, and so that I don't dread making tongs. So I've decided that I'm making quite a few sets of tongs in the next couple of weeks, and I'll be doing a video on how more than one person can win a few sets of tongs off me. So I'm going to be doing a set of flat jaws. I'm attempting a Daniel Moss style, those tongs he did the other week that grip multiple sizes. I'm attempting a set of those. and a set of knife maker's tongs as well, so that Sam Towns taught me how to make. So that someone starts off with a set of 3 tongs, and I'm going to be doing 2 or 3 sets of those.
Thank you for the $5 super chat, Mr. Jones. Good day to you too, sir. Thank you very, very much. Much appreciated, much appreciated. Thank you. So Rob asks, like Daniel's version of Brian's Ultimate Tongs.
I'm not sure if they were Brian's ultimate tongs. I do remember watching the video, and I've basically been watching on the design and and how they were forged. Not claiming credit on these tongs in any way, shape, or form, but I don't remember saying if they were Brian's tongs or if they were an adaptation of Brian's tongs. But they could be. They could very well be. I mean, at the end of the day, there's very few tools or ideas in this trade that haven't been done before, if you really think about it.
Right. Speaking of that, I had a customer see my. She wants a spike knife from me for a letter opener, and then she saw my lizards, and she wants me to turn a lizard into a spike knife, so a lizard knife, and that's going to be odd, but I can do it. I don't know how much. She balked at the price of the spike knife in general, so I don't know how she's going to react to the price of a lizard spike knife. And my power hammer is coming along. I should have it up and running by the end of this week. However, next stream, I will probably not be at my home shop. I will probably be over at Scott's or Corgi Forges. I will be up in Virginia for that weekend. And the weekend after that, I will be up at Hans's at Charming Hollow Forge. So it won't be in, and then the week after that will be the New Year's stream. So maybe we'll be able to, maybe I'll do, once I get it running, regardless of my schedule, I'll do a surprise live stream, So, made a hatchet last year with a piece of A2 for the edge, quenched in a piece of dry ice, tempered for 300 for 4 hours, and sharp as carbide. Nice. Nice. Did you miss anything good?
I'm just letting you catch up.
Yeah. Did you miss anything good? Well, Tim called, and I tried to get him in the chat, but it's not working. I don't know why it's not working, but he's, somewhere. We love you, Tim, if you can hear us. But
yeah, so yes, you guys talking about catching up, always makes me jealous, because I really can't wait to meet many of you. It is something I was severely disappointed with this year, that I wasn't able to come over, and so it's something that I am desperately wanting to do, and it will be done sooner rather than later, hopefully. But till then, I just have to bide my time and get there.
right. Trying to.
Yes, I know Ben Wayne loves me there, Wayne. He's been to Australia and he fell in love with Australia.
Yeah.
We all know this.
Make sure I stretch first before turning on my power hammer, right? Because it's going to be running and I'll have to chase it. Eric says a meteor fell next to his forge, knocked out the web, and he couldn't pass it up. Probably what happened.
If anyone could turn a meteor into a workable steel, it would be Tim.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm trying to stretch right now. I tell you, I have been so swamped and so busy out there. It's like I've been putting in long days, getting off work and instead of doing a beer with the bosses, running out to the shop and starting up and going until like 9 at night, and then, waking up at, 7 o'clock in the morning on weekends and drinking my coffee and getting out there by 9 and going all day. It's been rough, but it's paying off. Things are slowing down. I'm gonna have to do a little bit of, all of this from a stretching comment. I'm gonna have to be doing, a bit of marketing here in a minute. But yeah, morning Dragon Water. I've got 39 viewers and 33 likes. Yes, smoosh that like button and like that smoosh button, everybody.
Yeah, well, on the drawing out the reins for tongs, that's actually part of the reason why I built my forge press out of the log splitter, because drawing out is great to do, and it's a great skill to know, and it's a necessary skill to know, but particularly drawing out tong range can be a headache. So it's always good to I've got the forge press there, so I can just put the hot metal in. I've got touch block and just draw it out that way. Makes it a lot easier and a fair bit quicker as well. Particularly when you're doing, if you're doing more than one set of tong blanks, it's just, you can make them all to a standard size.
I think I figured it out. We might get him in here shortly. We'll see if he answers.
Yes.
I had to wait for him to, I don't know if it hung up because he chose to not answer or what, but it finally gave me the option to ring him again. I think for an anti-harassment algorithm, they don't allow you to constantly ring somebody. But do you have the ability to record Skype calls and play them back in the stream later? It gives me the option after I hang up to copy or to save the call and then upload it as a video. And there he is. Let's try and, alright. So, now that I have him here, I can do this. Let's see if this works. Hey there, Tim. You're very quiet, but yes, I can hear you.
I can hear you there, Tim. You need to drop your microphone on your headset.
Hello, Adam. Actually, I've got a mic. On the job, I think I need to turn it up again. Oh, possibly. Tell me if you can hear any better. Yes?
I can hear better.
How about you, Yamaz?
Hey there.
What's up?
I am just trying to set up the call here so that it looks right. Does it look right to you guys on in YouTube land? Instead of doing,
I cannot see Adam.
You cannot see Adam?
That's all right. I'd much prefer to look at you, Tim.
No.
Morning,
I
Tim.
don't know if you heard the comment before, but sorry, there, Yamaz. I don't know if you heard the comment there before, there, Tim. But you actually remind me of what the gentleman that 15 years ago started me out. A little bit longer than 15 years ago now, but started me out in my blacksmithing journey, and yeah, you're one of my bigger inspirations, and I find you a very warm and welcoming and happy soul, and I am absolutely privileged to be sharing a stream with you right now. I love Yamez. I consider Yamez a very good friend, but to share a stream with you is very much a privilege in my opinion there, Tim. So thank you very much for coming on while I'm here.
Adam, you make me blush.
It's
a very, very, very kind thing of you to say. But you know, it's typical of this community. The blacksmithing community is that area where this kind of thing happens to someone like me. I of course, you never see yourself the way others see you, but the fact is that this community is the reason that this particular show was started, to try to give back a little bit. And I think folks like yourself and Yamaz have gone miles and miles to take this where I could never do that. And to hear the Adam they're humbling. They truly, truly are humbling. And I appreciate you and all of the other folks so, so very much. So thank you. Thank you for that warm welcome and those kind, kind words. I am truly undeserving.
It's absolutely my pleasure.
I'm just trying
how
to do
have
the
you
layout.
been there, Tim?
I have been extremely well. I've been working like a wild man. As a matter of fact, I was going to join your meeting here 10 minutes ago, and work took me away. I got a phone call I had to take and a little meeting that I had to be in. So
That's what happened.
It may pull me away again. I don't know. Recently, my company merged with another company just a few days ago. In the middle of all of my hectic, chaotic, everything that's going on, it has turned into worse.
Right.
So, just one of those
it never
things.
rained, but it pours.
Yes, we'll get through it though.
Right. Yeah, you were saying something about with the merge and how it was going to make your life very interesting.
Yeah. Happy times.
Yeah, I hope you're doing well. I know I know when you're not putting out videos, it's because you are so busy. And I've spoken with you before on that. And I personally was like, man, that's kind of rude of a company to like take advantage of somebody who's retiring. And your point of view on it was so inspiring. It's like, you know what, make money while I can, because, you know, in a year I won't be anymore, you know.
Yep.
So
that is very true.
it's like, so all of you guys who are like, where's Big Dog, I haven't seen him. Trust me, he is doing what's best for him so that he can, you know, end his, you know, career with a bang and come at you guys like live and in person. Oh, not live and in person, but like on screen all the time.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit of a road, and I'm not sure if it's going to be extended out. I don't know, but we'll figure that out. And when retirement does come around, you're going to see a whole lot more of this face. Not necessarily a great thing for you, but you know, I hope you watch your videos.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I think I mentioned. I don't know if.
Hello, Dana.
I don't know if you heard me in the stream last night, but that video that you put up of the. I like seeing that, like around the shop videos of like you did the spider video. You know.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Around the shop videos, it's like I wish I could do that, but my around the shop is so messy it would just look like a garbage heap.
Well, you notice that I've never done a sort of a shop walkthrough.
Right.
And it's because it's such a mess most of the time. But when I get time to clean it up, I'll do a little shop tour for everyone. The other thing is that I do have a couple more videos coming out. I'll let you guys know about a little bit. I have a thing about recycling. You all know that. It's a thing with me. But it's not only in blacksmithing. I found a recliner. And now that I'm retiring, I love this recliner, but it was broken. The arm was falling off. The back was broken. Mechanism was broken. So I rebuilt it on video. And you're going to get to see Big Dog Forge building a redneck recliner, you might say.
You got to forge the leg lift handle.
There is no leg lift handle. You push on the arms and it just lays back. So yeah. But yeah, it was fun, that kind of thing. I've rebuilt a couple of 1927 gramophones. You'll get to see a video on that, which is kind of fun. But yeah, they're a little apart from blacksmithing, but they're They're things that have been on my back burner for 25 years. So I figured why not share them, rather than
Corporate black.
just throw all that away. So anyway.
I'm just sorry. I'm just reading the chat. Everybody's saying, "Hi, Tim. We look like a Brady Bunch opening, and corporate blacksmithing."
You notice I've been looking over this way.
Yeah.
And I'm reading the chat, but I'm also talking like that.
Yeah.
It's here.
Anyway. It's a tough thing to do, but it's fun to do. Yeah.
I wanted to say hi to a couple of folks: James Jones, Bar and Forge, Michael Robertson, Jim Patterson. Thank you so much for everything you've done for me, sir, and supporting the community. Dogbone Knives, how you doing? Granddad's Forge. Watched the video you put out the other day. It was pretty darn good. I really liked it. That hot rack was just phenomenal. Believe it or not, in between jobs, I get a chance to get on my cell phone and watch little short videos once in a while.
Right.
And Duncan, Ben Toombs, how you doing? Dad Rat's Forge? Hi. So I could do this all day long, but I won't take up your time, you guys. You probably have lots and lots of other things to get to.
No, we can do it. I'm actually heading Troy Roche calling in if you guys would like me to take a third caller.
It's up to you. I'm good.
I'm happy to do that.
Let's try it. I don't know how it'll split the screen.
See you. Hey, let's see you.
Yeah. We're just having a full Brady Bunch going on here.
Why not, right?
If this isn't a Meet the Community live stream, I don't know what is.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, Troy.
Hey, Troy. How are you?
All right, Tim. Good to see you out here.
Good to see you, sir.
How do I?
You're tickling your beard.
Oh, look at him.
Thank you, John Cat.
Oh, no. Now how do I do this?
There we go. I'm trying to make it so everybody's, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so, again, Tim, great of you to join the call. You too, Troy. We are actually taking today's show and celebrating, where is he on my screen? Right here, we are celebrating Speargrass Forge's milestone of 500 subs.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yay.
Yeah, so
Thanks, guys.
this has turned into definitely an interesting show. See, and Tim, I'd like to get you spoke with me a while back about how, and to the community, I'd like to apologize. I went back and watched several streams in a row, and over time it did drift away from blacksmithing and more just me sitting there, talking. But Tim gave me a producer's note, let's call it that, of, get it back to blacksmithing and the community surrounding it. And that's what inspired me to start doing the Meet the Community segments and, making the show an open call-in format like this, where, if you are of the persuasion to hop in the call and be on the stream and kind of chit-chat, let us know what you're up to. And I'd like to get Tim's point of view and see what you think about how that's been going,
I'm going to take you all the way back to the beginning. When I started this thing, it was myself and a couple of old guys that I think are still hanging around here. You guys were talking about, I went back in the video here just before I joined, and you were talking about old guys. And yeah, we're out there, and not all of us are the same, so don't hold it against me. But anyway, it started out as just a gathering place, and we'd get together on Sunday mornings, chat, ask questions, answer questions for each other, and it was a good thing. And it started getting a little stale. It started straying away from the focus of blacksmithing and the community myself. And being an old guy and not really technologically apt, one might say, I knew that some younger blood that had a little more fresh idea for this needed to come along, and you did a great job. And the producer's note that Yamas is talking about is that he picked this up, and I think that in his mind it was be traditional, do what Big Dog did. And you're sticking your fingers in Adam's ear there. I can see that. Anyway, anyway, this time lapse is weird. So anyway, I like, yeah, man, it's the community, and you're good at that. You can change that. You can do something other than what I did, and he's done that in a phenomenal way. I love this. This is great. It's why I was able to take the time away today to get to this, is because I forced that time. But I wanted to say congratulations, John.
Thank you.
Great job. Thank you.
Mm.
Adam, thank you for the support and the times that you've been on the show. It's been phenomenal. And all the people love it. I think that it's a positive, it's a plus. It's carrying this in the right direction. Yeah. Many voices are good in this area.
And I think you're exactly right there with your assessment. When I took over, I tried to keep it that traditional, Sunday morning church style.
Right.
But, and I didn't, I think you mentioned it when we were discussing, a takeover sounds harsh, but when we were discussing me taking the reins, I think it slipped my mind, or it went over my head that you were looking to take it into another direction like this. And once it clicked, it's like, I get it. I can do that, and yeah, it's like, have the ability for the community to come together like this.
There's one thing that us old guys are famous for, and will always be this way, and it's that we expect you young guys to know exactly what we want without us saying a darn word. So get on it and make it happen. What do you mean you didn't understand? Come on.
Well,
So I apologize for that, but the fact is that you have carried the ball across the line in a very stylish fashion, in a very modern, something I couldn't do. I didn't have time for, and I did not want to let the community down, and I knew that you would step up. I knew folks like Adam would step up. Anyway, so enough about that.
I will say,
now did you make reference to Yamez and stylish in the same?
Yeah, well, my choice of words isn't always spot on, but
Thank you, John Cat. And one other note, if I can touch back on the subject, and this also goes to the community as a whole. When I was saying the old guard, the old guys, that I was not meaning that in any derogatory sense. The specific group or characteristical old guy that I was referring to is that curmudgeon, and I haven't noticed it recently, probably because I distanced myself from that, but is the curmudgeonly, if you don't do it absolutely right the very first time, you have no business doing it whatsoever. I've seen comments like that, and it's like, no, there's a growth period when you first start this craft, and it is important for, everybody to understand that, where it's like, what?
I was just saying to them,
If a young guy just getting into it wants to try building, forge in his own mind, you can nudge him the right direction, let him make the mistakes, because then he'll see why it won't work.
I was just saying to the nameless nephew today, whilst we were forging, that I can tell him and show him how to do certain things, but there's certain things that will work for me, and then he's going to find his style, whether that's how to stand at the anvil, and what, the setup that will work for him in his organization of his tools and stuff like that. What works for me might not always necessarily translate to working for him in efficiency and all that type of thing. And I think that comes down to a lot of things that we forget to pass on sometimes. What works or best for me might not always transfer over to working the best for someone else.
Yeah, and Go ahead, Troy.
I'll say to that, if I could, I'm fairly new into the process, but having Eli join in now in blacksmithing, Eli's not a little guy. He's a larger individual than I am for sure. And so trying to get him to swing the same way I do and stand the same way I do, it didn't work for him. And having to adapt to that and work with him on his own way of doing things, and still trying to help him out and show him certain things that are beneficial to him. But yeah, we have to be aware of that, who we're talking with.
If I may make one point real quick before I let Tim speak, not to steamroll him, but I've been watching the chat, and this is a prime example of what I love and why I do live streams. Completely unrelated to the topic, whether it's during one of my forging live streams or during one of the conversational live streams. Somebody in the chat, Aimless Adventures, is having an issue with a forge blower, and the entire chat is helping him figure it out.
Yeah.
Community.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's what it is. So I wanted to add to all of this that there's a threshold, and the threshold that I'm talking about is time and necessity. And what I mean by that is I was trained by a blacksmith back in 1976 who was born in 1899. His teacher was born in the 1850s. So you've got basically three individuals to bring us into this day. When I was being trained, it was absolute. It was, this is how you do a thing. This is why you do a thing. But it was more industrial. It was more not so much an art or a craft. It was a skill that you learn to be this industrial worker and do it exactly the same way every time. They tried to turn young men into machines at the time.
Yeah.
And those that went out and made, something out of the ordinary were a little bit shunned, actually. So you hammered this way, you did it this way. So the threshold that I've crossed from that time to this is that it's no longer an industry necessity. The only necessity in industry for blacksmiths right now is other blacksmiths. You need tongs. You need a good pair of tongs. You need a good blacksmith to build you a good pair of tongs. And that needs to be done correctly. But the blacksmith that's making those pair of tongs is not the same blacksmith from 100 years ago.
Right.
And they're more artists nowadays than they are anything else. So the threshold that you crossed is you look at blacksmithing not so much as an industry or as a thing that needs to be done. You need to make that nail exactly the same way every time 500 times, and you need to stand this way and hold your hammer this way. It's turned into more of an art, and we're more an abstract paintbrush rather than a tool nowadays. I'm talking about the individual blacksmith.
True.
The blacksmiths nowadays, and you have to view them that way. And these old curmudgeon-y guys that can't break from that are the ones who were beat up in a blacksmith shop back in the 1940s and 50s. And it was, this is the way you do it. If you're not doing it this way, you're doing it wrong, because that's what they grew up on. And they're having a hard time coming across that threshold. This new generation of blacksmiths is going to have so much more to add to that. It's ridiculous. Different types of fuels, methods, different ways of holding hammers, different types of hammers. I mean, before the tire hammer came along and homemade hammers came along, there were homemade hammers back in the day. A lot of them were treadle hammers. But the fact is that when they were built, if they weren't built right, the blacksmithing community that you lived in, very small one, you were beat to death. You tore that thing down and turned it into scrap metal.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't right, that kind of thing. So there is a threshold that we've crossed over. So the community nowadays is very important, because you're not going to find a shop to turn you into an industrial blacksmith anymore.
Right.
Not to say that you would want that, but
you bring a very good insight into that, Tim. I pride myself in trying to look at things from multiple perspectives in any disagreement, argument, conversation, whatever. And you up such a great point, you know, that you almost kind of feel, I don't want to say feel bad for the curmudgeons, and I'm using that word as, like, as you described, those old guard blacksmiths that learned it as an industry and haven't crossed that threshold you're speaking of to view it as an art form as opposed to an industry, as a hobby as opposed to a job, you know, and it's I don't want to say I feel sorry for them. I feel sorry that I've had a mental block, I guess, in viewing their perspective. So yeah, thank you for that big time.
That's it's honestly, you're going to see this in a lot of smiths around the internet, and I'm going to give you a perfect example. I love his work, and believe me, there is nothing detrimental here at all, nothing bad. Um, John Switzer, Black Bear Forge, great guy. I love his videos. I love the way he's putting them together. He's trying to fit into a artistic community, and he's an artist. Nothing, not taking anything away from him there, but you can see in his work where he was trained by a guild or a, I don't know, probably part of one of the blacksmithing associations, and some old guys who were part of that curmudgeon thing. But John has been able to step across that threshold. He still has the teachings of those old smiths. Sorry about that, guys.
Crash.
My camera phone. Anyway.
Drop camera.
Yeah. So I'm going to get to see what happened here in a minute. There we go. So the point there is that you can see this in a lot of older smiths, but John's one who's been able to pick up the pieces, move forward, and he's been able to cross that threshold into artistry and teaching and getting that word out, rather than, you know, just remaining steadfast to what he was taught when he was a younger man.
Yeah.
I'm going to do some camera adjustments here, guys.
Yeah.
So I apologize for that, but anyway, go ahead.
So Troy, quick, what's the
Troy has hand raised. You shut up, Adam.
Me. No, I was really going to add to that, Tim. But one of the things that one of the very first forging videos that I watched was John Switzer's videos, and one of the things that attracted, I saw other smiths doing work, but one of the things that attracted me immediately is that he said, you know, this measurement is not magical. This is the way I do it. You know, he was very plain about saying, if you don't do it this way, you're doing it completely wrong. He was very clear about not doing that, and I gave him such respect for that, and I learned so quickly and so immediately from that type of format. It was tremendous.
Yes, it's and he's really good at that. So I have a lot of respect for the man. You know, John and I have never spoken. We've sent very few notes back and forth, but that'll typically happen between old guys. We don't like each other until we're forced into the same room, and then we can't stand you guys. So it's like, it's not a big deal. He is a great guy, and I really do enjoy his stuff. But you're absolutely right. He's willing to take that step and go, here's a way to do it to come out close enough to get what you want without, you know, beating yourself up when it doesn't quite work. And he'll often say in his videos, hey, I've never done this before. I'm just going to try this.
Yeah.
And he does. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, he shows you the failure, which is, in my opinion, one of the best things a blacksmith can do for anyone else that they're trying to show.
I'll let you speak here in a moment, Adam. Take the Rail Spike Lizard video series. You know, everybody did a bunch of Rail Spike video pictures and all that stuff. And he jumped on that because, you know, as you were saying, switching mindsets from, you know, full production, which Wesley points out that he's got orders for 40 of this and 30 of that, and he's got that production-based business mindset. For him to step back and, you know what, take time out of his busy business mindset and do something completely artistically useless other than doing something neat, it's got to be a big step, you know, even for something so small as, you know, making a video for a no-name relatively comparatively a no-name, channel in Smith, you know, um, that yeah, it's I could see how hard it would be to make that step, to make that switch. Um, Over to you, Adam. You're twitching again.
Oh, no, I've pretty much forgotten what I was going to say. No, but to add to that, I mean, no one
Troy.
makes anything perfect the first time. No, I mean, I sometimes luck out and I do things right the first time, but there's been many times I've screwed things up and gone, oh well, that goes into the scrap pile. I can find a use for that later on for something else, and had to start all over again. But like, and that's one thing that I love about this community. When someone
Hi, Davis.
does mess up, it's I can see what you're doing there, Troy. Um, when someone does mess up, you all own up to it, and I try to own up to my mistakes as much as possible, and hopefully that reflects in some of my imperfections, which are physical as well as mental. But no, like. And watching like Tim, I can't wait until you come back more and more. I watch all your stuff, and every time you put something out, it's pretty much the first thing I jump onto and watch. I love how eccentric some of the things you do are. They're so this. I mean, and you say you're not very computer savvy, dude. You built a robot. It talked to us. I remember watching that video and going, "This guy's a genius. Like that's something I could never do." And I'm from the tech gen, so
The whole computer thing, just to hit on that very briefly. My children, 25 years old, 26 years old. When they were first born, my decision back then was, we had 386 computers, and it was, I wanted them to know everything about computers that they could absolutely know from the beginning to get ahead of everyone else. They were literally sitting on my lap while I was building computers, doing minor programming, and to today, I've got a game programmer living in my house, and very, very proud of the fact. And it's an awesome thing. So I learned a little bit. Let's put it that way. I learned enough to be dangerous.
Yeah. I've actually, on the computer programming aspect of it, my brother-in-law is a computer programmer, but he's like crazy busy. He's trying to unveil a product for like the fitness world, which I told him an idea to translate it to the blacksmithing world. It's like a punch thing. He's running all sorts of programs with facial recognition and, punch stuff, this and that with a strike pad. I told him if he can translate that to an anvil, and make a blacksmithing training or game thing to see how strong it is, strong you are and stuff, blah, blah, blah. But, yeah, I also I've got a Teddy Ruskin given to me by Champ Ironworks that I want to take apart and turn into a co-host for my show and get an AI, get an AI program to read the chat and goof around with us. So, technology.
In 1970,
Huh?
in 1978, at the age of 5, I wrote my first code, and my dad was the computer programming teacher at our local high school, and we put in the first computer lab in the greater Cincinnati area, and had a whopping, are you ready for this? A stack of 40 megabyte hard drives.
Oof.
Holy.
Yeah. I know what that means.
Yeah.
see,
Now, here's
compared
the
to all
thing.
you guys, I'm just a dumb blacksmith.
We're all dumb
But here's the deal. That was then, and now, if I don't get something exactly right on my phone or I don't know how to do it, I just hand it over to Eli. I don't even mess with it. I was writing computer programs at 5 in 1978, but now, forget it.
See,
Yeah, I'm with you. Just give it to them. Here, fix it.
There,
Yeah.
fix that.
You guys are lucky to have people around to help you out. I'm all by myself. But
Oh, don't do that, young miss.
yeah, I shouldn't sing. I'll get demonetized.
Ah,
No, I don't think demonetization is the issue.
Oh yeah, it did just drop seven subscribers and 7 viewers. So yeah, um,
what happened?
Black Collar Ironworks is he's almost reaching the journeyman level in curmudgeonness.
Welcome aboard, brother.
Yeah,
Keep at it. Keep at it. Don't give up.
but
We have meetings Tuesday night. Bring the coffee.
yeah, everybody shows up bringing coffee. But yeah, this was honestly an awesome surprise stream, you guys. Um, I really think I've been toying in my mind about only doing like once every couple of weeks a round table stream like this, but really, I think Sundays I might just have it be where I have my Skype open and I have it set to window capture like I have it now, and anybody who wants to call in and chit chat and joke around, and talk with the community with us, is welcome to. I don't know how many people would, but yeah, the offer is.
You should screen your calls though.
Screen my calls. Well, I have a kick button that if
Put it on a delay.
yeah.
So
One thing I love.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Adam.
I think one thing I love about all you guys, but all the people in the chat as well, is there's not, even though there's a range of experience in there, from brand newbies to journeyman to experienced smith like yourself there, Tim. Everyone's a peer. No, there's no hierarchy, which is wonderful.
Correct.
Yeah. I mean, we let Ben Toombs talk.
What's So, go ahead, Adam. I don't want to talk over you.
No, go ahead. That was just a comment.
No, what I wanted to say is that anywhere you go, and you can talk to folks like John Switzer about this, anywhere you go, you're going to run into communities that have that hierarchy because they were initiated through fire, and they feel that the people that come after them need to be initiated through the same fire, and that's whether you're a police officer, a soldier, a fireman, and many other trades. And for the eons, for centuries, blacksmiths have been sort of trial by fire. If you can't handle the fire, the hot metal, the work, you're not a blacksmith.
Right.
And nowadays, the old curmudgeon guys are looking at that going, they're not a real blacksmith. They didn't have to go through what I went through. And so you can kind of see that. And that's why they tend to try to be that hierarchy.
Well,
a lot of them need to cross that threshold. A lot of them need to step across that and become more like John at Black Bear Forge. And I'm humble in saying this, but hopefully take on more of the attitude that I've got now than I did when I was younger.
right.
Because I was very much that way. You're not a blacksmith. You didn't go through anything. You're just reading a book. Well, that's where we learn a lot of things, is from books.
Well, on that subject of hierarchies in blacksmithing, while we treat each other as peers, and where the hierarchy gets blurred, because there is a hierarchy, like there's milestones in blacksmithing that go to that speak to that baptism by fire, Tim's speaking of. Making your first hammer, getting your first set of tongs, doing your first set of forge welding, your first commissioned piece. Like there are levels and milestones in blacksmithing in this day and age. But the lines are blurred because, and this is that line, that threshold that Tim's talking about, where instead of being, well, I'm not going to help you because you haven't done this yet. We're more in a more open hierarchy where, you know what, I've done this. It's a really great feeling to have accomplished it. You're brand new at this. Let me help you get to that point as well. And in the information age where internet is the primary source of communication between blacksmiths where you don't have that ability to go to the town blacksmith and learn, an industry. It's got to be done on the internet, and if that's the way to do it, that's the way to do it. So,
Well, on that note, I saw someone earlier, I can't remember who it was, saying, I mean, because I am celebrating my 500 subscribers, and they're saying, they're still at only 75. And one of the things that I noticed was hey, it's a big dog. um, is it's that time versus investment thing that we've all spoken about, in the sense of, not my first year doing YouTube, it took me over a year to get to my 100 subscribers, and then from there I got more. But in that time, it was more about, and just like in blacksmithing, it was more about doing it repetitively and consistently. And I mean, I didn't really advertise, and I mean, Troy, you're a really great one for this. You're all over the social media and you're everywhere, and I can see how fast you're growing. But I didn't really do that, and it's just by consistently doing the steps, doing the basics, doing all the little things, and it's adding up over time. And I think blacksmithing is a great allegory for life. And this is going a little bit waxing a little bit philosophical here, but I've found that blacksmithing is a really good allegory for life, in the sense of, if you do and practice the small things, and get the small things down to habit, the big things handle themselves. You already know what you're doing with the big things because you got the small things handled.
Well, I think that's life advice too, Adam.
Yeah, I think we're all pastors here. I'm a card-carrying member.
It's past my bedtime.
Wesley McCravey, brings up one of my favorite points, and I think this is, again, that threshold talking point. And I'll quote him. If he says, "If anyone is passionate about the craft, then that is awesome. In this day, I'm adding, paraphrasing, in this day and age, 95% of the people you come in contact with have no hobbies, no ambition, and no substance that gives them value, to themselves." So, it's like taking the initiative, seeing somebody new, saying, "I want to do this, and I want to work hard at it to learn it." That's exactly why I am so open to new smiths. How's it going, Canman in the shite? Moderators, keep an eye.
Hanneman goat shite. Well, I guess a Canman, yeah, maybe.
Sure, why not?
Okay.
Exactly.
That's because we do these live streams so much, Canon, that we show up all the time in a live stream search.
Yep.
These have been going on for years. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the things that, if I can, in my profession, I get asked a lot about, going through struggles of different kinds. And one of the things I ask them, along that same line, one of the things I ask people is, well, what do you do? And their automatic answer is they identify themselves with their job. They identify themselves that way. And yes, for me, it's hard for me to identify myself, because what I do is, I'm a preacher or a minister. I'm a farmer. I'm a blacksmith. I'm a dad. I'm a grandpa. I'm a husband. I'm a son. I'm all those things. And so just when people identify themselves by their work, and it's by their work, it's not by what they're passionate about, it's by just what they do on a daily basis, I have to ask them, what can you do to not be identified just by your work, by your job, by your employment? And oftentimes they can't answer that. They don't have something like what we do.
Right. Right.
I work in an office, and I have done for years, but I've done a variety of different jobs. I've been an insurance salesman, I've worked in steel factories, I've worked in mining, I've been a cleaner. I've worked. I don't know if you guys have them over there, but large supermarkets, your large big box chains where they have your photo portraits that get done. I used to sell them, but the last couple of years, people ask me what I do, and I'm a blacksmith. The first thing I am, apart from a partner and a husband and all that type of thing, but I'm a blacksmith. I work in an office 7 days a week, and I work I'm a blacksmith my 7 days off. People ask me who I am and what I do. I'm a blacksmith.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It's like I find myself doing that too. Am I an electrician or a blacksmith? Depending on who I'm talking to, is a different answer. You know. If I'm at work, yeah, I'm an electrician. If I'm off work, now I'm a blacksmith. But anyway, I don't know how. Tim, do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, you're all crazy.
Yeah, we are. So I admittedly for the last
Other
few
than the
moments
obvious.
I was getting a little distracted in the chat, but that what Leslie?
No,
Yeah, that's probably it.
I saw that. I want to do a couple of things before I have to go here, guys. I am going to have to go soon. I wanted to say hi to Rob. Rob's been contributing to the chat throughout this entire thing, and I have not been able to acknowledge him, and I wanted to do that. So, hey, Rob, thank you for being here and just being part of this today. And thank everybody for letting me and allowing me to join in today. I do appreciate it so very much. You guys are awesome, and I look forward to seeing a lot more of you folks in the near future.
Mm-hmm.
If I can break away from who I am. I do the same thing. You're absolutely right. Folks ask me, what do you do? Well, I'm a locksmith, but truly I'm not a locksmith, because my job, again, like other jobs do, has changed over the years. I can go out and work on a dumb lock, but 90% of what I do nowadays is high-tech bio reading or card reading or some sort of a credential reading system that identifies you from 3 feet away when you approach a building, and it greets you and it talks to you, and and that's what I do now. So when people, what are you? I'm a locksmith, and I dumb it down as far as I can.
Yeah.
I'll put a knob on your door, and they look at me funny and go, what? That kind of thing. So it's your identification is oftentimes what you do in your everyday life. Most often, pretty soon, people will say, what do you do? And I won't be a blacksmith. I'll be retired.
Yeah.
So it's, it is that, but you're absolutely right. How can you identify yourself beyond your work and just that narrow field? Because as I'm a father, I'm a husband, I'm a brother, I'm a cousin, I'm all those things. Mm-hmm. And to be able to be more in touch with life, I think you really have to look past what you do as a basic job. So, yeah, you guys have made me think about now I'm all inside my own head.
Oh, man.
Oh, no. This isn't going to go well today.
Yeah.
Because I don't even like me.
No. See, it's... I started this because after Irma, I had nothing, like, saved for close family, but, like, I lost my community. I lost, my identity as a, top chef in Key West. I lost all that. So it's like, when I started this, it's like, yes, I am a blacksmith now. Like, this has become who I am. I associate more with blacksmiths than any other, race of people. No, lifestyle of people. So yeah. I'm seeing a lot of people saying that they have to book out. Ben keeps trying to be the big spoon of everybody, but if he can't forge a spoon, he can't be a spoon. I'm just playing with you, Ben. So I'm going to do one more round of final thoughts, and then we'll let everybody get on with their days. Hey, Jacob. So final thoughts and community discussions.
Congratulations, Jacob. Take a look at that post there, young
I
man.
just had my second daughter. I just saw the name pop up. My bad. I'm sorry. I just had my
It's
second
okay.
daughter be born this morning. Congratulations!
Oh man!
Congratulations,
Yay.
Jacob. There's nothing like it, brother.
A new blacksmith coming into the world.
I'm telling you. Born with a hammer in her hand. It's awesome. Good job.
Congratulations. That's awesome.
Enjoy the next 12 years.
Yeah. From the dads in the group, Yeah. So, we'll, who would like to start the final thought round? And now for my final thought, you got to do it like...
I can go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yep.
Take it, Adam.
All right. So my final thoughts. If you can be anything, be happy. And if you can do anything, do your best.
Wow.
Profound.
Yeah.
I got to reassess my life.
Here's one for you, Yamas. And it's something that I heard from a guy. I don't know if any of you guys were ever into the motorcycle scene, but there was a guy named Indian Larry who died tragically motorcycle stunt years ago. And Indian Larry always said something that was very true. And I followed it since I was a young man. And it's very simple. Don't lie. There's a whole lot less to remember.
Right.
Very good. I would say in my, man, you guys are killing me. That's great stuff. There's an old song we sang. It says, "Count your blessings, name them one by one." And I think there's a lot of value to finding those things that are blessings in your life and saying them, naming them, giving them a name, because it's very easy to just get caught up in the other stuff that's going on in life and say, yeah, I'm blessed, and not name those blessings. And we are blessed, so count your blessings and name them.
Amen, brother.
Yeah. I was going to say hearts and health. But
that works too.
It's like hearts and health. Hearts and health. It's like do what makes you happy. And be happy doing what you do. Similar to what Doppelganger said. But it's like if you do what makes you happy, you'll never work a day in your life, all that fun stuff. I can't compete with these poets down here. If you're having troubles, like, because especially in this era right now, if you're having troubles and going through some stuff with everything that's going on, just remember, come what may, this too shall pass. Stuff will. Oh, caught myself there. Stuff will get better. Stuff will improve. I almost just dropped a bombshell, but this isn't the time for it. But yeah, things will get better, and things will improve, and just keep plugging along, keep hammering away, and get on with it. Wear your safety glasses. With that, guys, thank you all for being a part of this. Thank all of the guests for being in. Tim, if you could hold on for one moment after the show, I want to ask you something. But
don't tell me what to do. Wow.
Well, I know everybody got their hang-up fingers itching and standing. Yeah, thank you all. Thank everybody. You guys are awesome. If I could, I would give you all a big
God bless.
Hearts and health.
God bless you guys. Adam, thank you. Tim, thank you. God bless you guys. Thanks.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Thanks for joining me in the celebration.
Yeah, you guys have a wonderful
Congratulations
day.
Again. Good job.
You guys have a wonderful day, and I'm going to end this party now. All right, and